What's up, guys? I've got another exciting team today. I lucked out with Go Battle Night, allowing me to play way more games, so I was able to find another team that did work out. We have Shadow Flygon, Qwilfish, and Jellicent. First of all, huge shout out to my Patreon supporters. Could not be doing this without you guys. But yeah, let's get right into this gameplay video. So I went back to the old editing style because the first time I switched up the editing, what ended up happening, I got some comments about how people think I'm taking out losses and just showing wins or something like that. No, I don't do that. So for those of you who are new to this channel, I don't take out losses. I'm showing you consecutive sets. I'm not even cherry picking good sets. I'm showing you 3 to 4 sets in a row of a team so you can see with a relatively large sample size some representative play. But that's what it is. Same thing. I'm not running Spice for the sake of Spice. Shadow Flygon I don't think is a Spice pick. Qwilfish I don't think is a Spice pick. These are not Spice picks. Spice picks are for other channels. I'm showing you teams that I believe can take you to Legend, if not the leaderboard. Otherwise, I wouldn't be showing you the teams. Simple as that. And then, I guess, while I'm doing this, here's my yearly, I guess, beg or ask. If you guys are enjoying the content and you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, please hit the subscribe button. It really does help out with my metrics and like sponsors looking at metrics and stuff like that. It would really help me out. And I hate begging, but unfortunately, begging does get results. Is what it is. But yeah, the team. Shadow Flygon, Qwilfish, Jellicent. It's your classic ABB team, Dragon Double Water. You got Qwilfish as your safe swap, one of the better safe swaps in the meta, I think. We have a bad lead in Skarmory, and we're going to swap to Qwilfish. This isn't a great matchup for Qwilfish either, but it's not too bad. But Flygon has both of its charge moves resisted by Skarmory, and Qwilfish has both of its charge moves resisted by this Jellicent swap in. So Jellicent, probably the hardest counter to Qwilfish, I would say. Everything else that swapped in, Qwilfish was pretty adequately able to deal with, but Jellicent is a bit of a problem. The thing about Jellicent swap-ins, though, is that Flygon does get a nice little farm with 1 shield. But the problem is, like I mentioned earlier, Skarmory resists both charge moves from Flygon, so this farm down doesn't even really matter. And make sure you're throwing Earth Power instead of Dragon Claws at Skarmory's, because it does a significant amount of damage. Both are single resisted because of the way typings work in Pokemon Go. Ground is super effective against Steel, but double not very effective versus Flying, which evens out to just not very effective. Same with Dragon Clash, just not very effective against Steel. And in the back, we do actually have... ABB is working out, right? We did eliminate the best Jellicent counter, which was Jellicent itself. And now we have Swampert in the back, so Jellicent normally can deal with this, but we are down a shield this time, so it is a little bit tougher for Jellicent to handle this time around. So, hard counter switch, hard counter lead. It makes it very hard to come back from. My opponent makes the very smart play of attempting to farm down, and I have to abort to stop them from doing this. But at this point in time, it's already too late. They're just going to be able to get 2 Hydro Cannons off and take out my Flygon. It is what it is. Every team wins, every team loses. And here's some losses for those of you who like that kind of thing. We have a Shadow Swampert lead here, so this is pretty good as well. You can just power through this with Dragon Tail, but I like to try and catch on Qwilfish. Deals about half of Qwilfish's HP, and usually they'll switch out. So this is why we switch, right? Even though I'm in a pretty good matchup in the lead, we switch just so that we can draw out the counters to our back line. You'd be surprised at how many people swap in Sableye to Qwilfish, even though, in my opinion, this is not really a counter. They're forced to shield in this farm down, so now I have a shield advantage. My Flygon is 1 away from a Dragon Claw, which can take out the Sableye. And they did have quite a bit of farm, so I do actually go back and guarantee take out the Sableye. I don't want to mess around and end up messing up and having to spend another shield in this case. I feel like I'm in a pretty solid position with the Swampert in the back, except it goes for the Earthquake. So that honestly, I think, might have won them the game. Earthquake on Swampert, I think, is actually very good. Almost everything that you'd want to hit with Swampert with Sludge Wave, you can now hit with Earthquake just as hard. You don't really see a lot of Meganiums anymore. It's mostly Venusaur for the grass types, and Earthquake hits just as hard. Sorry, hits harder than Sludge Wave does. And you can win a lot of neutral matchups. You know, Earthquake down Umbreons, Scrafties, Hypnos, things that just don't expect you to throw anything but a Hydro Cannon. They'll just take an Earthquake, and they're not going to be able to survive. Yeah, so that was a little bit of a side convo. on EQ, but we're going to take a look at Flygon versus Jellicent here. Pretty good matchup in the lead, but they throw Bubble Beam. They don't even go to 5, so we're going to switch out to Jellicent because we can't switch to Qwilfish. In hindsight, I probably should have just stayed in and just kept Dragon Tailing down because I put myself into a bit of a tricky situation. They catch a Shadow Ball on Vigoroth, which is impressive considering I was quite a bit over that move. And this still isn't a good matchup, even though they do catch the Shadow Ball. 2 Ice Beams are going to be enough to take Vigoroth out, and they're not going to get to 2 Bulldozes in that time because they swapped in while I had a little bit of extra energy. So we're just going to throw that Ice Beam right away. I probably could have charged up a couple more, but there's no way they get to a Bulldoze. But I figure I might as well save a little bit of HP on my Jellicent so I can't get X down here. They throw a Bubble Beam, and I'm going to swap out again. Bubble Beam doesn't really do too much. This Jellicent has done almost no damage this game because they've just went Bubble Beam the whole time. So honestly, it is a good bait, but it often will bait the Bubble Beam user themselves. We're going to go for the big Dragon Claw here. In hindsight, I probably should have went for the Earth Power since I was already at it. But we do go for the Dragon Claw instead. Reason to go for the Earth Power is because one Aqua Tail will take out Nidoqueen from this HP. I was not quite sure. I hadn't played the matchup enough at that point. Right, got distracted by my cat there a little bit. He wants to watch too. Yep, next game. We are gonna see an Azumarill lead. This is probably the worst matchup for Flygon. With Mudshot Flygon, you can at least bait and outpace. But we're going to swap into Qwilfish, and very common backline, or very common swap in to the Qwilfish from an Azu lead is a G-Fisk. And this is actually pretty good for Qwilfish. It's not too bad. You just throw these Aqua Tails whenever you can. They need to throw a Earthquake to take you out. But even if they bait you, you still outpace their bait. So regardless, you're going to outpace. Qwilfish is so spammy now with the Poison Sting buff. And yeah, these are 2 more buffed Pokemon that I'm glad that I'm getting to cover. Shadow Flygon and Qwilfish, benefiting from Dragon Tail and Poison Sting buffs, respectively. Dragon Tail's pretty much a Dragon Breath clone now, except 3 turns and a little bit more damage. And then Qwilfish has Poison Sting as a Mudshot clone. So you can imagine it's pretty much a Poison-type Politoed with a little bit less punch. They come back in with the Azu. We're going to go straight for the Sludge Wave. And not make it, that's fine. If we threw the Aqua Tail, they could farm more. So not throwing is the correct play. And they're going to come in with Venusaur. So this is a little bit scary at this point. I swap into Flygon to kind of take the health down a little bit of this Venusaur, but a Frenzy Plant will take out Flygon. And we will be able to beat them to the Ice Beam though, right? So that was the entire point. Make them spend their energy on the Venusaur, throw this Ice Beam, and now we have the Zero Shield versus Azu. Which is a little bit tricky in this case. If they are running Play Rough, which they are, but Jellicent outpaces a little bit, so we're going to be able to get there before they are, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, looking like it. Yeah, the Jellicent Azu matchup is pretty comfortable. You have quite a bit of leeway on either end as long as you're running Hex, even if it's an XL. Yeah, we're going to take this. They're set 3 out of 5, and to note, the last 2 of those games were wins. You might have been drawn in by the title. Talking about a win streak, well, it began 2 games ago. So let's see how this goes. Sorry for the spoilers. We have Umbreon in the lead. Can't exactly swap out of this one. So we're going to shield the first foul play. Then we're going to go for the bait. We shield to make them think that it's okay for them to spend a shield to go even with us too. But they don't shield, so it is what it is. We can tank this next foul play. I was planning on just shielding one anyways. Throw this Dragon Claw. Oh, actually, I'm going to catch a move. So, right, we want to switch at some point in every game. So, be looking for that opportunity to switch, because sometimes a Talonflame, which would wreck the back... No, I'm just kidding. This is not the usual switch in. Talonflame is not the usual switch into this. I make a mistake, and I accidentally go to 8 instead of 7. And I'm going to lose out on a full Aqua Tail because of this. So they shield the first Aqua Tail. Second Aqua Tail never goes off. Very unfortunate. Poor play on my part. Just remember to count your moves properly versus Talonflame. I'm going to go back with the Flygon to make them think this is my best answer for it. They shield. We're going to switch. into Jellicent. And we're going to shield this move because it could be a Brave Bird. And I've used my switch and they haven't. So because it's a Flame Charge, it still doesn't matter because we will get to a Shadow Ball right before they get to their next move, their Brave Bird. And be able to comfortably take out that Talonflame. Umbreon is very low, so it can't actually threaten this Jellicent. So it's all about the 1 shield, or the 0 shield here between Jellicent and whatever Pokemon comes in. And it's the Nidoqueen. And remember, we also do have a little bit of energy on that Flygon. Actually, quite a bit of energy on the Flygon. I think almost a full Dragon Tail. So even if this Umbreon were able to get to a move, we'd be able to take it out very easily afterwards. Yeah, pretty solid win there, despite some pretty big misplays on my part. Although I don't think the Talonflame switch into Qwilfish is the correct play there. But Qwilfish beat every Pokemon on that team. There's not too much you can do at that point. So if Cress lead, Cress is actually very tough for this team. Moonblast hits super effectively on Flygon. Grass Knot hits super effectively on Jellicent. Qwilfish is kind of the best answer, but then again, Psycho Cut hits super effectively on Qwilfish. So they're going to switch into Scrafty. And Qwilfish is going to be able to angrily stare down and spit some poison on this Scrafty. And guess what? Because of the switch, we're going to be able to win switch or shield back with Qwilfish here. Now they're going to shield up. They want switch. They know Cress into Flygon is a pretty big deal. But we're not going to shield Qwilfish. They're not going to get that shield back. And now Scrafty is in farm down range. I don't even have to spend a shield after this. So after all that is said and done, we have a shield advantage out of there, and we throw the Earth Power here. The reason we go straight for the nuke is because on this team specifically, to take down Cress, it's going to need a nuke. We're going to need an Earth Power, we're going to need a Shadow Ball, or we're going to need a Sludge Wave plus a little bit. So we go for the nuke, and if they had shielded there, we would have been able to go in with Jellicent and get a Shadow Ball. If they don't shield like they did, we can just take down the Cress with a shield of our own on Flygon. So a lot of the decisions you'll have to make with this team are going to be contingent on what your opponent does when you throw moves. So because of that, you don't want to be just charging up a bunch of energy for no reason. You want to be throwing your moves so you can better make decisions about what to do. So as you lead, once again, G-Fisk swap in. It's like I'm predicting the future. Well, I guess predicting the past. These games have already happened. Tons of G-Fisk switch-ins. This G-Fisk, just go straight for it. So guess what? I'm not going to shield. We're going to play it another way this time. Obviously, these Mudshots add up. You can't take a Rock Slide in the 2 shield, but what you can do is you can force a bunch of shields on your Qwilfish. And these G-Fisks and Gal players I've seen specifically get a little bit greedy with this energy, and they try and farm down a lot. But we'll see if this G-Fisk player wants to spend 2 shields. If they do, that's fine. A 2 shield advantage is absolutely huge. Even Flygon could beat Azu with that. But they can't, or they decide not to, and unfortunately for the Nidoqueen, Qwilfish also makes it to another Aqua Tail. So let's take a look at what's happened so far this game. Qwilfish has taken out a full G-Fisk, a shield, and half of a Nidoqueen for the price of 0 shields. That's insane. That's like it's a good Pokemon. I don't know what else to say. It's a pretty good Pokemon. So we do have switch, which is important. We need this jelly on this Azu. You see that Azu to G-Fisk swap scenario. You fight for switch as hard as you can to try and get your Jellicent on this Azu. Yeah, just throw these Shadow Balls. They shield, it's fine. Like this game is already over though. It's been over for the past 30 seconds or so. And I understand most of the time people don't want to quit out, but this is Go Battle Night. People are trying to get their games. I feel like it's probably just best to quit out. There's no win condition that doesn't involve less than 10 seconds of lag, I don't think. And I was trying to save both my shields just for the heck of it, because that was the only challenge left in the game, but they made a pretty good switch into Nidoqueen to force me to throw my my Ice Beam there. So a shield did have to be spent, fortunately. But small price to pay for a win. This next game, we're going to see a regular Stunfisk lead. This is not very good for non-Mudshots Flygon, so we're going to get out of there. And in comes Venusaur. We're going to go straight for the Sludge Wave. See how it goes. This is my first Venusaur I've seen. And boy, Sludge Wave does a lot of damage. I don't think they were expecting that either. So I wasn't planning on shielding the Frenzy Plant, but we'll shield it up because this is a nice little farm for Qwilfish as well. With a shield, we're able to take out a Venusaur and have an Aqua Tail ready for the G-Fisk. And we're actually going to get 2 Aqua Tails versus the G-Fisk. So with this energy that we took out of this matchup, we're going to either get a shield or be able to win back switch here. And they're not going to let that next Aqua Tail through. If they're coming back in with G-Fisk, it seems like Qwilfish is pretty good against their back line. So I decided to preserve the Qwilfish by switching into the Jellicent. But they don't switch out either. So it seems like their back line is just bad against potentially water types in general. So a bit of an unfortunate switch because I did sacrifice my Jellicent in this case. When I could have just sacrificed my Qwilfish instead. Yeah, they get a little bit greedy there going for the Rock Slide. Well, not greedy because they wouldn't have made it to the Earthquake, but it is how it is, and we're going to see what they have. It's a Charizard, so yes, definitely weak to water. This Dragon Claw, Charizard, I'm sorry, is not going to do enough damage. Well, sorry, yours isn't. Your Dragon Claw is not, but my Dragon Claw is going to do, I would say, enough damage. Another Dragon Tail would be able to take out this Charizard and grab another W. I was very surprised to see a Charizard instead of a Talonflame there. I really thought it was going to be a Talonflame. Cat hair all over my face now. Next match, we have a Bastion. This matchup is not bad. You get to Earth Power at the same time as they get to their moves, so as long as they don't sneak in a move, you win this. So we're gonna go straight for the Earth Power and just take out the Bastion. Yeah, their win con there is calling the bait. In comes Medicham. We have 2 answers for this. We're gonna come in with Qwilfish. Qwilfish is not technically an answer, but you resist the counters, and then you outpace. So they are going to switch into their Sableye, and this is exactly what we wanted. We need that Sableye to come out so that Jellicent has more room to play. And these Aqua Tails, they add up too. I'm actually very surprised that the Sableye player kept both of their shields to this. But I think they realized that they really have to go all in on this Medi and hope that I have something in the back that's weak to Medi. So Flygon can just take out the Sableye. I'm going to go straight for the Earth Power here. So same reasoning as last time. If I go for the Dragon Claw and they call the bait, I might not win. But if I go for the Earth Power, I get the shield, and now I just have to outpace Medicham to 2... Sorry, I have to get to 2 moves. He has to get to 3 moves. And that's just not going to happen. Unless we get some severe bout of lag. Yeah, remember, no shield, the first move for Medicham, right? Psychic can debuff, or they can power up punch bait you, and then the next Psychic will hit that much harder. So, just a good habit to have. We're gonna grab a 5-0 here. That is 7 wins in a row with this Flygon Qwilfish duo. Seems pretty strong, to be honest. And we'll see how far we can take this win streak. I bet no one can guess how long this win streak is gonna go. So I do the same thing versus the Swampert, except they also have the same idea and swap to try and catch my move, but I'm not at one. So they swap into Skarmory. I would have really liked to switch into my Jellicent here to win this matchup. Instead, Qwilfish doesn't have the greatest matchup versus Skarmory. If you spend the more shields you spend, the better this matchup gets. But I decided that I would probably need to save shields for my Flygon. Because once I have this Skarmory out of the way, unless they have another Steel type, which is kind of rare, I would say, with the Swampert Skarmory core, then I should be able to just 2-shield farm down with my Flygon. So they come in with the Swampert, we're going to throw the Shadow Ball. And they don't shield. They come with Sableye, and now we have 2-shield Flygon versus Sableye. So you can see how this goes. I think they must have thought I was running Mudshot if they swapped at 4, right? They probably thought I was running Mudshot and I was going to throw a Dragon Claw there. But I'm just running. I'm running Dragon Tail. So actually, their decision to believe in 2-shield Sableye makes a lot more sense if they thought I was running Mudshot. But Flygon, multiple opportunities now to run different moves. So Nidoqueen, they swap out into their Umbreon. I could have thrown an Aqua Tail there. Sometimes Nidoqueens try to catch. Sometimes they try and throw the Poison Fang before switching to try and debuff. So a lot of the times I do like to throw on 5 when they get to that Poison Fang. This guy tried to save his energy, and I think for some reason my click didn't go off. I really did try and throw that Aqua Tail. But at the end of the day, we're going to take a shield from Umbreon. That's insane. This player shielded their Umbreon against Qwilfish. That's how hard hitting this guy is. The problem is the shield is going to work out very well for them. They have a lot of energy. So we're going to tank one foul play. I know we're going to probably have to take another. But Flygon should be able to farm down Umbreon at this point. Yeah, just 3 more Dragon Tails take down that Umbreon. No more foul plays. This Nidoqueen comes right back in. I know they only have a Poison Fang. That's what they switched out with. So we can tank that and then just switch right away. And they switch right away too, the Medicham. So backline, hard counter. This is how ABB works, right? That's how ABB works. You switch and you draw out the best counter. The best counter was Umbreon, which would also been the best counter for Jellicent. So people are honestly switching a lot of these dark types and other things into Qwilfish, which are good answers for Jellicent. It hasn't just been grass types. Actually, people have been hesitant to switch grass types in Qwilfish too, which I don't think you should be. I think grass types are pretty good against Qwilfish. And Empoleon, this is really tough. A really tough lead here. We're going to swap right into Qwilfish. And remember what I said earlier about Qwilfish not really having too many counters besides Jellicent? It doesn't really have that many. Like, even with this Hypno, I'm able to grab shield advantage, and I'm able to deal a decent amount of damage to it. I'm going to come in with the Flygon now. No shield, whatever it has. It's usually Thunder Punch or Fire Punch from Shadow Hypno, but this guy is running Shadow Ball. But unfortunately for him, we are going to get to this Dragon Tail just in time and take out the Hypno. So we do have 2 shields on our Jellicent, and we know they have an Empoleon. So as long as Jellicent can handle the other thing, which is a Nidoqueen in this case, then we should be pretty good. Not going to shield this. If it's in their best interest to Poison Fang, so that their Empoleon can kind of try and waterfall down. So no shield that. Empoleon comes in and exactly what we expected. Tries to waterfall down. This matchup I'm very comfortable with because of Commander Cup, Sylph Cup. Except from the Empoleon side, I know exactly how much it sucks to have your Empoleon lined up against a Jellicent. This is a very dominating matchup. Jellicent has a lot of these. And it's going to be able to take down Empoleon and then Nidoqueen. And we have 2 shields remaining. Although they did have enough energy to throw on Empoleon, it just wasn't in their best interests. Yep, so next game, we are going to see a Nidoqueen lead, not Shadow, just a regular Nidoqueen. We're going to get into Qwilfish as well. And we're going to throw out 5. A lot of these guys like to Poison Fang and dip. Makes a lot of sense. But they have to eat 70% of their HP. What this player did is the first time I've seen this, it's very smart, charged up Earth Power before they Poison Fang. So I have to shield. So Poison Fang shielded, and they come in with Jellicent. So not only do they get this really hard counter matchup with the debuff, but they have a shield advantage, and I'm not going to be able to get it back with the energy I gained on this Nidoqueen. Actually, I will. It looks like I will. So we're going to get to that Sludge Wave. I think they are trying to farm as much as they can. But we CMP tie. So don't let the Qwilfish go down. The Ice Beam. So here's the thing. Don't reveal your moves. So now I know there's no Bubble Beam. So we're going to catch the Ice Beam on the Jellicent. On my own Jellicent. And this is not a move I would have been able to pull off if it weren't for the fact that they revealed Ice Beam earlier. Because if I was running Bubble Beam, then I'd be catching a Shadow Ball. And that's absolutely what I don't want to be doing. On a Jellicent. So I'm able to make the catch here because they revealed to me that they had Ice Beam. And because of that, I might be able to turn this into a win. A sure loss into a win. We'll see. Lag says otherwise. I should have been able to get my Shadow Ball off there to KO. But unfortunately, I am forced to spend my shield on my Jellicent instead of my Flygon like I would have liked to do. Yeah, so the Jellicent comes back in. It's low enough that Flygon can take it out. This Nidoqueen is not going to make it to an Earth Power. It's going to just throw a Poison Fang, and we're just going to Dragon Tail everything down. Shades of Shadow Vic right here. Actually, I throw both my Dragon Tails here. It's kind of BM. I'm sorry. I really wasn't sure how much energy this Jellicent had, but I should have been because I had just caught a move off of it. But yeah, I just complained about people not leaving in Go Battle Night, and here we are. Me extending games during Go Battle Night, so a little bit of a hypocrite here, but it is what it is. Sableye lead. This one's a bit tricky. You win CMP, and you have the exact same pace, but the problem here is I try to sneak a move through, and that's won me games in the past. But in this case, I don't. So I throw out regular timing instead of trying to fast move deny. And this means that they're going to get to the next move before me. Instead, they decide not to throw. That's fine. I'm spamming that switch button. I know they've got a hard counter for this in the back. We're swapping to Qwilfish. I don't know why I didn't charge up the Sludge Wave. I really should have. Could have forced a shield there. I think it's because I thought they were running Psyshock, but they're running Dazzling Gleam. So tank that Dazzling Gleam instead. Because if they have Psyshock, then what can happen is they'll just throw Psyshock. I don't get any damage off, and any damage I can get on that A9 is pretty useful. But it is still a bit of a questionable play. They bring in their Pelipper. I'm going to shield once because I really want to get this Dragon Claw off. But my Flygon is essentially useless at this point. I'm really hoping they don't farm me down. I'm really hoping they just throw. I was actually thinking about switching there too. So they throw, which is great. They're energy dry. And now Jellicent is going to go to a Shadow Ball. They're going to try and charge to a Hurricane. But unless I lag for about 4 turns, they're not getting to a Hurricane. And then the rest is history here. They can Dazzling Gleam if they would like. But this player, very well-mannered, is going to leave the game. Save everybody a little bit of time. In Go Battle Knight. So another 5-0, back-to-back. You don't trust me, I don't know what to say, but it is what it is. That's currently 12 wins in a row. Yeah, and once again, the bug happens where it shows the last Pokemon I caught, Abomasnow Elite. This is awful. It actually beats everything on the team. So, win streak probably ends here. But the Sableye swap in is not too bad. You outpace pretty heavily. With Qwilfish, you get to moves in 4. Charge moves in 4 moves. They get to it in 6. So the more shields you spend, the better this matchup is. But I've also already realized that it's not about switch here for me. It's about shields. And I can't afford to shield anything at all, except for my Jelly. Because my Jelly needs a shield advantage to beat this Abomasnow at all. And I am very lucky that I was able to store that Dragon Claw. I switch immediately instead of throwing because I thought they might come in with something like Azu. Predicting an Azu in the back is pretty easy when there's an Abomasnow in the front. And I'm glad they did switch into their Abomasnow. I'm not counting their moves. They're just throwing their moves as they get them. I'll shield everything. Doesn't matter. They can't double bait and then get to Energy Ball before me. I'd just rather take this Abomasnow out so that I can deal with that Azu later on. So this is a bit tricky because this Azu is XL. So that Shadow Ball does not deal very much damage at all. And if it's running Play Rough, I'm in a bit of trouble. But it's not, so we should be fine. I'm going to throw the Shadow Ball here. I do have a Dragon Claw still stored on my Flygon, so it would likely be enough even if they were running Play Rough. But it is a lot more comfortable that they were not running Play Rough. You never know with Azu, it's always a mixed bag in the back. Yep, so 13 wins in a row. We managed to beat an Abomasnow lead, which is quite tough generally. So Sableye lead, this is what I was talking about before. We'll see what happens here. They actually swap into Azu, and we're going to swap right away into our Jellicent. Don't want to be too far behind. If we swap within 1 bubble, then we outpace to 2 moves, which is the amount you need to KO. In this case, this Azu is not XL. Look how much more damage that Shadow Ball does. And they're also not running Play Rough. So you'll notice with the Azu switch in, you're like, wait, why wouldn't you swap into Qwilfish? Qwilfish is a better answer to Azu. Well, yes it is, but Qwilfish is also the better answer to Sableye. And because they have a Sableye still, I'm going to try and sacrifice our Jellicent here instead. Although in hindsight, maybe going with the Qwilfish would allow for less of a farm afterwards. Because now the Sableye has quite a bit of energy. I do have a Dragon Claw, but I overtap, unfortunately. And they catch this Dragon Claw and Dugong. And this overtap might cost me the game. We do get the shield on the Dugong at least. But this Dugong is going to get to the Icy Wind right before the Sludge Wave. Because it's 16 turns versus 15 turns. We're still going to throw the Sludge Wave. And then try and get to another one. The Icy Wind won't take us out. But at the same time, Qwilfish is extremely low. Probably can't do anything to this this Sableye. I probably should have farmed up a little bit more, and that, I think, cost me the game, because the Sableye is able to get 2 Shadow Claws off. And my Flygon is going to be forced to shield 1 Foul Play. And then tank another one. Just one fast move was the difference, and a bit of unclean play was the reason there. So the win streak ends right there to a little bit of bad play. One move can make the difference, and often does. So be vigilant. Toxicroak Lead, this is pretty good. The backline as well. I was a bit hesitant to swap Qwilfish in right away because of Mud Bomb, but they actually make a pretty good catch here. They know the counts on a Jellicent. Unfortunately for them, this is exactly where I want to see the Jellicent. They call the Dragon Claw. I'm going to be able to force a shield with this Dragon Claw. I will be able to shield once my Flygon. And I'll be able to Dragon Tail down here. Comfortably. Toxicroak comes in. They win CMP. Little known fact, I did not know that would happen. Or is a bug, who knows. But I'm not going to shield my Flygon. That's fine. And this is what happens when you don't switch an ABB. Their counter's still in the back for the waters, and that's Galf. But luckily, they're just getting to their move there. I'm able to get to the Sludge Wave before they're able to get to 2 moves. And they didn't throw a move because they realized they needed to take out Qwilfish. And Jellicent has a very comfortable matchup versus Toxicroak. This is one of those other games where you should probably be just quitting out. Jellicent has a health advantage, shield advantage, energy advantage, lipstick advantage, color palette advantage. I don't know. There's a lot of advantages this Jellicent has over this Toxicroak right now, and it's not worth the extra 30 seconds, I think, of the game during Go Battle Night. Obviously, I do respect people who like to stay in and try their hardest. Normally, I know there's a lot of really good battlers to do that, but it's Go Battle Night. So G-Fisk, I swap into Qwilfish. They actually stay in. I was charging up a lot because I was kind of expecting to switch out, but we're just going to throw this Aqua Tail. Shield up, whatever it is, Rock Slide, that's fine. Remember, we outpace. So every shield spent is good for Qwilfish. And we're going to be able to get to that 3rd Aqua Tail before they're able to get to a Rock Slide and Earthquake, which is really big because that forces them to spend a shield, and that allows them to kind of, or it stops them from being able to, what do you call it? Take a 2-shield advantage, I guess, which is what can happen if you're a bit slow. So because they didn't switch out of G-Fisk, and I haven't seen their backline, I'm assuming they don't really have a good answer for the water types, because, I mean, they didn't switch anything into Qwilfish, but somehow there's a Tropius still in the back. I probably should have expected it, and that's not a Pelipper, that's an Azumarill. If this was a Pelipper, a little bit more comfortable of a matchup, but an Azumarill is very tough for Flygon to beat here. No point shielding, they outpace to move, so they could probably reach an Ice Beam before I get to an Earth Power. I might as well be shielding the Play Roughs on Jellicent instead, although this Azumarill looks like they only have Ice Beam anyways. Ice Beam Hydro Pump, I'm assuming, in the back. And I make a pretty big mistake here. They've given me a chance to win by the fact that they're only running Ice Beam, but somehow they win CMP, I think, on my Jelly, and then I shield, which was a mistake. Like, either way, if they're going to bubble or air slash me down, that's fine. But what's going to happen here is they're guaranteed going to throw a Leaf Blade because they have one stored, or they're one away. So a little bit of a misplay there as well. God, so much cat hair in my face right now. I actually can't believe it. We have a Deoxys Lead. Was this Wanko? Is this Wanko Wanyo? Yeah, this is Wanko Wanyo. Child prodigy. Not child. Teenage prodigy. He's so good at this game. Topping leaderboards all of last season, pretty much. So I get matched up versus him, showing that my ELO isn't trash at the moment. And Deoxys Defense is the lead. I swap into Qwilfish. It's poison type, resist the counters, but obviously Psycho Boost is a bit dangerous. And then he swaps into Lickitung. So I throw Aqua Tails here, even though I'm at the Sludge Wave, because 2 Aqua Tails are the same cost. So if 2 Aqua Tails is going to KO, then why would you throw the Sludge Wave? If it gets shielded, you're in trouble. Even if they shield one, you're able to deal some significant damage to Lickitung, But Wankoenyo has built up a pretty big shield advantage here. And Deoxys is going to get a little bit of farm. In my head, Deoxys got more farm than that. So I come with the Flygon to absorb the energy. But there wasn't that much energy to absorb. It resists Rock Slide. It triple resists Electric. So Thunderbolt, not a big deal. It's all about the Psycho Boost there. And there's an Azu in the back. So it is a good thing I did come into that Deoxys with Flygon. The problem here is, though, that with a shield advantage, Azumarill doesn't really lose to Jellicent as long as it's a 2v1. And I'm assuming Wankoenyo's excelled as Azu as well, so it's not just a matter of landing 2 Shadow Balls. It might be a matter of landing 3. No, I think in the 2 shields, 2 will be enough. But he also has counting moves and makes that a great catch to Deoxys. I would have liked to take out this Deoxys anyways, though. It does have enough for a Psycho Boost, so he would have been able to, or almost enough for a Psycho Boost, so he would have been able to almost take me out. And we're going to hit this Azu with an Earth Power, just to show how close it is. But, yeah, not going to be able to take down this Azu. Yeah, that's the team. Honestly, had a lot of fun playing it. And yeah, as usual, I'll put my comments, or sorry, my socials, etc. in the description. Sorry, I'm a bit frazzled. This is like the 3rd time I've recorded this because I forgot to press the recording button. Once, I think I forgot to activate my mic, but yeah, I'll put everything in the description. Oh god, I'm butchering this. Anyways, thanks for making this far. Thanks for watching, guys.